Hey, you guys. Okay, so we're going to do some notes. Today we're going to do peel paragraphs, and these are extremely important notes because anytime you are asked to write a paragraph, I don't care if it's in Mrs. Galetti, I don't care if it's in Mr. Fuller, I don't care if it's in Mrs. Schneider's class. If someone says write a paragraph, you write a peel paragraph. Same thing goes when you get into high school. No one's going to call it a peel paragraph, but it's what they want, okay? Because a peel paragraph is a strong paragraph, okay? So I need you guys to understand that. So from now on, once we get these notes down, anytime I ask you to do like a short answer, so like Common Lit, okay, that last question should be an peel paragraph, okay? We are gonna be writing peel paragraphs all the time. It's our big piece of writing. Like we are going to write a peel paragraph that goes with every single short story in our short story unit. When we get into novels, we'll still be writing peel paragraphs almost all the way through, but you'll also be writing the big 5-paragraph essays. But the peel paragraph is the basis to even a 5-paragraph essay. Okay, when we get to our first essay, I'll show you how it works, but you'll be writing peel paragraphs within that, which is why the idea of a peel paragraph is so important. So, so get your table of contents filled out. Go and get those 2 pages labeled as peel paragraph, P-E-E-L paragraph, okay? And then come on back because we're going to take some notes. Okay, so here we go. No foldables are needed for peel paragraphs. So you should have already done this. You should have today's date that you are taking it, and it should say peel paragraph here. And peel paragraph here, okay? Should also have a date. Okay, and here we go. So the first letter we have is a P, okay? So the P is going to stand for the point of your paragraph. Another thing that we can call it is a topic sentence. Okay, we're going to talk. I'm actually going to write an example and kind of tell you some of the things I expect to see in your point. Okay, your next letter is the first E. This is going to be your evidence, okay, which is a quote from the text, okay, which once again in the example I will explain. Okay, oops, almost did that in the wrong color. Okay, so next is the next E, which is called your explanation. Okay, so what you do here is this proves your, okay, I'm going to change that, proves why your quote supports your point. Okay, proves why your quote supports your point. And then I'm going to skip a line, which really kind of bothers me, but that's beside the point, is your L, which is your last sentence. Okay, this is where you sum up your ideas. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be writing a peel paragraph down here, and I'm going to be color coding it. So in pink is going to be the point. The evidence is going to be in blue. The explanation is going to be in purple. And then the last sentence or 2 is going to be in green. So that way you can look up here and then look down here and see what goes together. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to write it about Hunger Games. So my question that I am answering is, How does Katniss feel about Peeta at the end of the Hunger Games? And you know what? I do know that we read Hunger Games in 7th grade, so I'm somewhat giving away a little bit. But the way that I look at it, most of you have watched the movie. So if you haven't, I'm not giving away enough for me to be upset about it. So it's a paragraph, so we're always going to make sure we indent. Okay, so I don't do fingers or I don't do anything. Just make sure you come in at least a little bit so I can tell that you are indenting. So here's the thing. I'm going to write my point and then I'm going to talk about it, okay? Okay, so here's my point sentence. It is in the Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Just throwing this out there just because I want you guys to consistently be thinking about sentences. The word in is a preposition, so in the Hunger Games, and then by is also a preposition by Suzanne Collins. So we have to have this comma because it's technically a prepositional phrase that starts the sentence. So after you put your title and your author, you're going to put a comma, okay? But I want your point sentence to start in the Hunger Games or in Amigo Brothers by Piri Thomas or in The Story of an Hour by Kate Chopin, okay? That's how this starts. And then you're going to give me a comma, okay? And then you're going to answer the question. So my question was, how does Katniss feel about Peeta at the end of the book? And I'm saying Katniss ends up having strong feelings for Peeta, okay? I'm somewhat vague, okay? I don't say, because honestly, I don't think you can say anything than having strong feelings for Peeta. I don't think you could prove anything else, okay? But I can prove this. So make sure that before you do this, that you have evidence that's going to be able to support the idea of having strong feelings, okay? So then after that, I'm going to go into my evidence. Okay, so here's what you have to do first, okay? Did you notice that I did not go straight into evidence? This thing right here, what I just did is called a lead-in. Feel free that if you want to take some extra notes off to the side, so like I could write lead-in. Okay, if you have to add things like while I'm talking, if there's something that I say out loud that I don't write down that you feel you need in your notes, feel free to add those to your notes, okay, you guys? So before you can put evidence, which is a quote from the text, you need a lead-in. So what a lead-in is, and we'll take notes on a lead-in, we'll actually be doing notes on embedding quotes also. A lead-in is telling us what is happening right before the direct quote that you are taking from the novel, okay? So I'm saying, while Katniss and Peeta are in the cave, comma, because once again, this is a subordinating conjunction, so this is a dependent clause. Just throwing that also out there. Katniss thinks, okay? And then I have my comma. The comma is here because I'm going into a direct quote, so I'm going to put my quotation marks. Now, once I start these quotation marks, none of these words inside the quotation marks are mine. I got them directly out of this book, okay? If I open up to page 297, okay, I can go down to the bottom of this page, and these are the words I'm going to start writing. I wish I could pull the shutters closed, okay? So these are not my words, which is why the quotation mark goes there. But I need you to pull something directly out, something that's not your own. Okay, now listen. When you are doing a direct quote, if there is a comma in it, you have to put the comma. Everything should be exactly how the author wrote it, okay? Okay, so now listen. So these are all not my own words. I want to end my quote here. I am not putting a period here. I'm closing my quotation marks. I don't really have the space here to do what I need to do. And then I'm going to put parentheses, and I'm going to put Collins 296. I can't fit it here. So I'm going to put it down here. Collins 297, close it, and put a period. This is a citation, which you're actually going to take notes on later this week, okay? You put the author's last name, not a character's name, author's last name, and the page the quote comes from, so page 297, okay? And that's when the period goes after that, okay? So that is how your evidence looks, okay? So then I go into my explanation, okay? Now here's the big thing. You do not want to summarize the book. You don't want to summarize the story. First of all, I've read everything that you've read. I've read Hunger Games every single year since it came out in 2008, okay? So don't summarize the book or the short story to me because I already know it, okay? So that's the big thing. In your explanation, do not summarize, okay? So I'm going to explain how I connected this quote, "I wish I could pull the shutters closed," blocking out this moment from the prying eyes of Panem. Even if it means losing food, whatever I'm feeling is no one's business but mine. I'm going to explain how this proves that she has strong feelings for Peeta. That's my job here. I cannot read your mind. I have zero desire to be in the brain of a 7th or 8th grader. Does everybody understand? But I have to understand how you connected these two things. And that's what you're going to explain to me. So at this point, okay, so this is what I have so far. I'm not done yet. At this point in the book, Katniss is struggling with how she's feeling. She wants privacy to work through her emotions. Here's what I want to point out. At no point do I say the quote. So I don't say the quote shows. Okay, don't do that. Never, the word quote should never appear ever in your writing. So it should never appear in an essay and it should never appear in a paragraph. The word quote is not allowed. Okay? I also don't use I think. Okay? So I could have written, "I think Katniss is struggling with how she's feeling. She wants privacy to work through her emotions." I didn't do that. I just said Katniss is struggling. Not that I think she's struggling. I'm saying she's struggling. Don't say I think. Don't use the word I at all unless it's in your quote. Okay? Because by not just saying it, then you're making doubt. Like if you say I think Katniss is struggling, then you're not saying that you know she's struggling. So be direct. Say exactly what you think and don't hesitate with it. So don't say I think. Okay? Just tell me it. So Katniss is struggling with how she's feeling. She wants privacy to work through her emotions. So that pulling the shutters closed is her showing that privacy. That's what I'm trying to say here, okay? Then I'm going to use my own knowledge, okay? So I'm going to use my own background, what I know, to help me show how I connected this to this. Okay, so then my next sentence is like some background. I'm not saying that you have to do, you do not have to put your own background knowledge, but I want you to see how it works. You can do it. But once again, I didn't say, I know girls tend to work through the beginning stages. Do you see how I did not do that? I just said it. Girls tend to work through the beginning stages of a crush before announcing it to the world. Okay, it's something I know. Honestly, is it just girls? Probably not. Okay, but I can't say that I think that I don't have that knowledge. I'm not a boy. Okay, so I'm going to do one more sentence. I want a minimum of 3 sentences in this explanation, you guys. So basically, I'm saying as a reader, you can see her work through her strong feelings. If she didn't have strong feelings, she wouldn't have needed to pull the shutters closed or say that whatever I'm feeling is no one's business but mine. It's showing that she's got a crush because of what I know, that we're not going to announce it to the world, right? That we want to work in privacy to get my emotions. That's how I know it's strong feelings. And then basically your last sentence, you're summing it all up. You want no new information in here, okay? I start a lot of sentences with as, probably not a good thing, but I almost went with all capital letters because of the word peel, and PETA starts with P-E-E. Okay, so here's the other thing I want you guys to know. If you write bigger than me, which my guess is some of you do not go onto this page with your notes. If you start to get low, I probably should put this somewhere. If you start to get low on the page, get out a loose leaf piece of paper and finish the notes and then tape it in so it can be flipped up, okay? I just don't want you to go, you don't want to go onto this next page because it's going to be a page for different notes. So here is what a peel paragraph looks like. Man, that's pretty long. You need one sentence for your point. You need a lead-in with a quote. I do like the quotes to be shorter, okay? This one's a little bit longer than what I would normally like, but try to keep these quotes shorter. They should definitely not be longer than your explanation. Do not forget your in-text citation, which is the author's last name and page number with the period there, and then at least 3 sentences for an explanation. 4 sentences are better, and then 1 sentence for your conclusion. And that's a peel paragraph. You are going to get lots and lots and lots of practice. And every time you write one of these, I will give you feedback if there's things that I don't like. If it's good, we'll have no feedback. But if there's things I still want you to fix in it, then I will give you feedback telling you exactly what you need to fix.